What is going on, my YouTube friends, Patreon friends? How we all doing? Sounds like we're about to get nerdy on this one. Tokyo Groove Yoshi. This is a cover. Twin Bass Live. Nick sent this to me. My friend at That Singer Reactions. If y'all haven't checked him out, if y'all don't subscribe to both of us, I got his channel in the description box. But he sent me this. He said I'm gonna have a heyday with this one. So it sounds like we're gonna get a little nerdy. I'm not gonna waste too much time. My friends, cheers. Got my glass of red that I've been nursing since dinner time. Yeah, I honestly don't know what to think, man. He just told me a few minutes ago that there's no singing in this; it's all instruments. So I'm not gonna waste no more time, man. I'm not gonna waste no more time. Let me pull this up. Y'all know what to do. Y'all watch enough of these, I'm sure. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. Oh, two basses. They're not kidding. There is two basses. So twin basses. Tokyo Groove. What is hip? Okay. Okay. Okay, so drummers doing, so they're ghost notes wherever my hands go, right? So it's this digga 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 digga. So kick's still on one, or so kick and snare are still on 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I'm getting all over myself. I'm getting excited. So it's digga digga 2, digga digga 4, digga digga 2, digga digga 4, right? So it's still the same kind of like regular 4 on the floor pattern, but you get all these ghost notes. Get all these ghost notes. It just makes it so funky. And then when she goes into the fill, she keeps the ghost notes going. So then it's like the toms fall into like the different drum roll stuff, right? It's all your rudiments. For all my drum nerds, it's all your rudiments. And then the trem like slapping almost is neat in the bass. I've never seen it like that before. And it's so like consistent. It's so consistent. And it's almost like a thumb slap and like a pop, like at the up part of the bass. And it's just like, it's so consistent, man. This is wild. This is wild. Okay, bring the sax out. Oh wow, that is all this one leading it on the bass. Wow, okay, man. Like I thought that whole section was two basses, but like it's wild that they're both playing like all these same parts and it just sounds like one bass. It's wild. And like one might be mixed louder than the other. I'm not too sure what the setup is, what the situation is, but it is so clean. It is so clean. And like typically, so let's get nerdy for a second. So typically in bass recordings, bass live performances, it's not just one bass channel. Like it's one signal, it's one bass player. Not in this, but typically, right? They split it into like 2 or 3 different channels to get different parts of the tones to be expressed differently. Because like your low frequencies aren't gonna be sent out of the mix the same as the high frequencies, et cetera, et cetera. So it's interesting that like they're almost achieving that same premise, but they're both playing the same thing in 2 different styles on 2 different basses, and it's this nuts. That's like the crazy part, that it's this crazy and intricate. I'm just like falling in love with this, man. I'm forgetting I'm doing a reaction here. There's no words I could use to describe to you how hard that is, what she's doing right now. I'm sitting here in my head thinking, like, how could I do this? How could I do this justice? And there's no words. There's no words. There's no words to describe it, man. Those are some heavy strings. Those are some heavy strings. Like, they're thick. I don't even have an instrument in here that, like, compares. All my guitars, tiny little guitar strings. Tiny little guitar strings. And, like, to think, like, each fret is so much, like, wider than on, like, my guitars, too. Maybe not like that high up, but still, man, it's just like that is a lot of work. That is a lot of work, man. Yeah, there's nothing I can say to translate how much effort and practice that must have taken. Because like, wow. These Nord keyboards and these Roland, if this is like a 700 or an 800 or whatever, these are both very, very popular keyboards. The Nord Stage is just like it looks like this one's set up. It might be MIDI, it might just be left and right out. It's got all kinds of organ sounds. They're just like very portable, very like, I don't want to say indestructible. They're light. They're like very portable. They have a lot of great sounds. And then these RD keyboards, they have really nice, just like regular grand pianos. They're just beautiful, just stunning. Let's listen to the solo again here. Wow, man. That is like one instrument that piano, organ, keyboard, all that, anything on a keyboard is just like, it just breaks my brain. Just breaks my brain. That was so impressive. I think what she was doing with her finger is on like, I think they call it a V-beam in the Roland series. But I think it just changes like the speed of the organ rotation. So I think that's all she was doing. So then you get like the really crazy, like the wah, instead of like the faster kind of stuff when she's playing fast, right? So I think it just gives more like an organ vibe. I think that's what was going on there. I honestly don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. At this point, I'm pausing it so I don't get in trouble with the YouTube algorithm. Like, this is wild. Oh my god, everyone is just like the way that they just brought that whole groove back in, that whole pocket back in. Oh my god, that was smooth. This sax solo was wild. Fantastic. I am shook that these drums sound this good with just SM57s all over it. There's just like instrument microphones all over the whole drum kit, even as like overheads. It's nuts. It's nuts. This whole thing is just so funky. It's just so funky. Like, we got any like Geddy Lee fans or like Primus fans or like Red Hot Chili Pepper fans out there, man? Because like, this is right up there with some of the best bass playing I've ever seen in my life, man. This is wild. This is wild. Tooling bass solos. The like visual cues are amazing, man. Just like, yeah, we're good. We're done here. We're done here. Let's get into the next part. But like, wow, that was all just like such a lesson in technique. I don't even know what to say, my friends. Nick, you playing with a guy on this one, man. You playing with a guy on this one. Drum solo, perfect, perfect. Uh-oh. She just could have dropped the stick. That happens. That shit happens all the time. She just hit the tom with it. She just punched the tom with it. And to be fair, it's probably might not even be her drum kit. Depends on where they're playing. Depends on where they're playing. This is my opportunity to pause it. They just have dynamic microphones all over this drum kit. And for one reason or another, it could be like a low ceiling and it's just like a lot of bleed or something like that. But this drum kit sounds punchy as hell, doesn't it? Doesn't it? So these are SM57s. These are cheap. These are like 115 bucks, and they're everywhere. They're even like hung above the drum kit. I've put them on hi-hats, but only out of necessity. It's the only time, and I never had any problems. It didn't sound like any of the pencil condensers or anything we had at the time, but I'm not recording. I wasn't here anyways. These are Sennheiser 604s. They have these like rubber stands that clip on here. They're not supposed to interfere with like the drum. Some people think that it chokes them up, but for like music like this, you want a short, quick, like a maple drum anyways, where it's just like this quick, like boom, and that's kind of like it. So a little bit of muting wouldn't hurt anyways. But these are not that expensive either. So to get some nice punchy drums, man, a lot of the tones in the hands. A lot of the tones in the hands. This is great, man. Check this out. She's such a pro though, picking this drumstick up. Quick too. Bring him in. Great drum solo. Great drum solo. Great drum solo. I thought it was great that she dropped the stick and carried on. I think that adds to it, in my personal opinion. I think it shows how real playing drums is, performing is. You know what I mean? She's got some gaff tape on here, so that, like I said, this is just deadening up this snare drum. The snare drum does have a lot of reverb in it. You can't hear it in the mix as much, but that makes a lot of sense because like this, you're not going to get. It's not going to sound like a snare drum just having one mic this close to it, especially a 57. It's just like it's not. So you have to add like artificial room noise, like a hall or any type of reverb to the snare drum to make it punchy. And you can hear it when she's like laying into this thing, doing her rudiments in the snare drum, right? Listen to this. Back it up. Hear that? Bah! It's real punchy. It's real low mid punchy. It's real nice. They're so tight. Wow, man. That was something else. That was something else. That was a workout just watching. My goodness, man. My goodness, man. They weren't kidding. They weren't kidding with the twin bass live, eh? I was more freaked out by how casual everyone looked like they were taking that. Like how just like relaxed everyone was. Like bass player on the right, on our right, house right. She looked like she was like getting into it a bit, but like everyone just chill, not trying that hard. Like that was wild. That was like wild. Nick, playing with the guy, man. Playing with the guy. I don't even know what you want me to say. Just sit here and laugh my ass off in front of this. For my Patreon friends, Nick, everyone. See y'all again soon.